Okay, the outline of this today's lecture is we have what is Python language, what is the scripting mode, interactive mode, then data types, then operators, and last is you have operators. Sorry. Now, first, what is the Python language? Python is a high level object oriented programming language. Python interpreter and the extensive availability of all the libraries which are present in the binary form, which are free of charges, on which can be used on various extensive platforms. So because of that, the Python is very much popular. Since there is no compilation step, the edit, test, debug facility, debug, this all the steps are done very fast. In this tutorial, I'll not show the Python installation. The for Python installation, you can refer to www.python.org/downloads. Now, interactive mode. Interactive mode. In the case of interactive mode, it's a quick way of running a single line of code. The code is executed with Python shell. Faster as you type a command, you get the immediate results. So I'll show you how to do that. So here I'm going to use the Python IDLE. Now this is a Python shell. If I write here print statement, what is the use of print statement? I want to display the output. In that case, I'll have to use whatever my output I want to display it. So in that case, I will be using what? The print statement. I want to display hello world. So I will be using the print statement. So immediate, as soon as I type the hello world, I get the output. So this is a immediate or interactive mode. Now the code is, as we have seen, the code is executed with Python shell. It is faster as you type the command and gets the immediate result. Next mode is scripting mode. In the case of scripting mode, when you want to write a long piece of code, in that case, you don't have to use interactive mode. Interactive mode is not recommended. So in that case, you will have to use a text editor, write a program, and in Python after that save it with extension .py. To do this, what you will have to do, go to IDLE, click on file and then click on new. To do that, see here, so go to file, go to new, type a piece of code over here. Then after that, save it with extension. For example, I will be saving on the desktop in my Python tutorials, and in that this is hello. So hello. So when I save this program, after saving, the extension used is py. After saving, I'll get the output. So to get the output, to execute it, either you will have to press run or press F5. Now we'll go to the next is data types. In the case of data types, we have first is numeric, second is boolean, third is string, fourth is list, fifth tuples, sixth set, seventh dictionaries. So now first we'll go to numeric. If you are using a numeric data type, in that case, actually the Python, in the case of Python, you need not have to mention the data type of a value. As soon as you store a value in a variable, as soon as you assign a value to a variable, automatically the Python interprets the values, and that value, Python interprets the data type of the value, and that data type is assigned to that particular variable. So, but in some cases, in whenever you want that user should enter only this type of output, in that case you have to mention the class for the particular data type. For example, I want to enter only integer values. Integer values, that means those numbers are between 0 to 9. Then in that case, the class I will be using is int. If I want to use, for example, I want to enter only the float type of values, then the class that will be used by me will be float. Next, if I want to enter only the complex values, what is the use of complex values? Complex values are used for mathematical computations. So here, when I want to do that, I will be using the class complex. So let us see an example of this. Numeric data type. So this, see here in this case, the variable a is equal to 2. So that means it's an integer type of data. Variable b is equal to 3.5. That means it's a floating point of value. Then Python automatically interprets it. X is equal to 2 plus 4j. That means it's a complex value. So after execution, see here, you will get the output like this. Now, next you have is numeric class. In this case, I am telling the user to enter a specific type of data value. That means a is equal to int. The class used is int. Inside the bracket, input. What is the use of input statement? This input statement is used to tell the user that it has to enter a number. Now, outside this, int is used, that indicates that user will enter only integer type of value. Next, b is equal to float. Inside the bracket, input. Inside the bracket, enter number. So this indicates input statement here is used, which will indicate that user has to enter the number. Now float is used, that indicates that user will enter only floating point of values, floating type of values. That is data floating, sorry, user will enter only the data type of a value which is float. So see here. So if I enter 3, this is an integer. Sorry, if I enter 3.45, I'll get an error. Why? Because here the variable a accepts only which type of input? Integer. Whereas I have entered float value. So see here, if I again execute the program, if I enter 4, so this is an integer, it accepts it. Now for the variable b, if I enter 4, then it will be accepted as 4.0. But if I enter 4.7, then it will be accepted as the data type of the variable as float. So now next is typecasting. What do you mean by typecasting? If, for example, if I'm entering a integer input, whereas sorry, I'm entering a floating point value and I want that value to be represented in the integer form. So in that case, I will be using what? A typecasting. How it is done? See, here in this case, the variable, we are writing a simple program to calculate an area of a circle. Now, the radius which will be entered, that will be having the data type. Radius is stored in the variable r, and that is having the data type as float. So float input enter radius. So here it will enter only float type of value. Now a is equal to int, inside the bracket 3.142 star r, that means 3.142 multiplied by r, that is pi r square. That is the formula of an area of circle. Now after this, the answer which you will get, that is again a float type of value, but I don't want that float type of value. I want that answer should be a integer value, okay, rounded value. So to do that, see, after that print statement is used, which will print the value. So here, if I enter the radius as 2.1, So area of a circle is 30. Okay, so 3.14 multiplied by 2.1 multiplied by 2.1, whatever answer you get, that is being truncated, and that is what area of a circle. This is, that is, a is equal to int inside the bracket. That means this is the way typecasting is done in Python. Boolean and string. Boolean represents only two type of values, either true or false. So if you want any variable or any function to return a Boolean type of value, in that case you will have to use a bool function. Then string, what is a string in Python? It's an array of Unicode byte characters. Okay, now it has built-in, Python is having built-in methods which are upper, lower, in, not in. So see here in this case, this is a s is you are storing, and string is always stored in double quotes or single quotes. So ABCD is one of the string. Now if I want to write, for example, ABCD 1 2 3, I want to print whole string. I'll represent whole string comma s. I want to display the string from the position 2. What do you mean by this? The first value s is equal to double quotes a. This a value is stored at the position s of 0. B value is stored at the position s of 1. B is having the index 1, so it is represented as s square bracket 1. Then C is stored at the index 2, so it is represented as s square bracket 2. D is stored at index 3, so it is represented as s of 3, and so on. Okay, so it will represent all the values from the index 2. That means it will start from C. Next, between 2 to 4, whatever the values are present, those values will be between -5 colon -2. That means from -5 you will get -2, so -3. From backward -3 where it will come? Here, this is 0, this is 1, -1, this is -2, this is -3, so -3 to backward. Next you have is dictionaries. What is a dictionary? Dictionary is a collection of elements which are unordered, changeable, and indexed. Dictionary in Python contains keys and values. You can access elements of dictionaries using keys. So example, dictionary DICT1 is equal to name. Here what are the keys? You are storing a record, okay, of a particular student. So for example, name is one key, age is of a particular person. For example, age is another key, and contact is another key. Now if you are writing a key in the form of a string, then in that case you have to put the key in single quotes. So single quotes name colon Ratan. So it will store, the value will be here Ratan. Age colon 20. So value will be equal to 20. Then contact is 987001910. So that is the again numeric. So keys are for, if the keys is a string, then in that case the string is represented in single quotes. But if the keys is not a string, then if it's a number, then in that case it is written like this. Dictionary DICT2, name, that is a string, so single quotes, whereas here 1. 1 is again a key which is having list of elements 2, 4, 5. So if I write DICT single quotes name, so what it will display? Ratan. DICT single quotes age, what it will display? 20. DICT2, so it will display the whole list, not a single number, 2, 4, 5, and so on. Now, if I want to add one more key to this dictionary, in that case, I will have to use DICT1 single quotes address equal to Mumbai. So print DICT1. So see the output. So here you get this 245 and addresses added. Next, list, tuples and set. What is a list? List is a collection of elements which is ordered and can be changed. It allows duplicates. It is put in a square bracket. Whereas what is a tuples? Tuples is a collection of elements which is ordered but cannot be changed. It allows duplicates. Next, what is a set? Set is a collection of elements which is unordered. It does not allow duplicates. Remember, set is a collection of elements which is unordered and it does not allow duplicates. Now, to a set you can add a list. You cannot add a list, but you can add a tuple. See, I'll repeat again. To a set you can add a tuple, but you cannot add a list. Why you cannot add a list? Because list is changeable. Now, to a tuple you can add a list, okay, and you can change only the list, but the remaining elements of the tuple you cannot change it. Let us see the example of this. So L1 is equal to, this is L1 is equal to square bracket 1 single quotes apple comma banana single quotes 4 5 6. So here you don't have only the numeric, you have mixed type of data. You have a string, along with string you also have a numbers. So L1 is equal to 1, okay, that is having the index 0, apple is having the index 1, banana is having the index 2, and again see here there is one more list having the elements 4 5 6. So I want to print L1 square bracket 2 colon, so it will print from banana up to 4 5 6. L1 square bracket 3, so it will print only the list, that is 4 5 6. Now T1 is equal to empty bracket. So what is that? Tuple. T2 is equal to 2 hello. Okay, 2 is having the index 0, hello is having the index 1. Now 4 5 6. So here in this case, in a tuple, again what is added? One more tuple is added. So if I print T1, I'll get empty list, empty tuple. T2, I'll get 2 hello comma, T2 of 1, I'll get only hello printed. Now let us see one more example. Now in a list you can add one more value. So after this, in the L1 dot append single quotes ABC. So after this list, that is 4 5 6, what will be added? A B C will be added. Now after that, if I want to change that ABC, so the position of ABC, index of ABC will be equal to 4. So if I want to change that, L1 square bracket 4 is equal to, you will get the output as high. So print L1. Now T2 square bracket 2 square bracket 1. What do you mean by this? So T2 square bracket 2 square bracket 1. So it will print the value only 4. Okay. Now see here, in this T3, in a tuple T3, 4, then good morning, then after that a list is added. Okay. Now in this list, if the list is again having the position, this list is having the position indexes as 0, 1, 2. That means 1, the index of 1 is 1, index of 2 is 1, index of 1 is 0, index of 2 is 1, index of 4 is 2. So T2 in T3 square bracket 2 square bracket 1 is equal to 6. That means this 2 will now be represented by 6. So print T3. So it will print 4 comma good morning comma this particular change value. That is, it will print as 1 comma 6 comma 4. Now this is a set. S1 is equal to square bracket 1 comma, this is a tuple you are adding. So you can add a tuple to a set, but you cannot add a list to a set because list is again changing. So let us see the output of this program. So this is, you are printing this, then 4, 5, 6, then tuple empty tuple T2 is printed, hello is printed, then here see list to this particular list, one more value is added, ABC. Now to this particular list L1, this ABC which was there, that is represented by high. Then after that you have T2 square bracket 2 of 1, so it will print 5. Whole tuple is printed, but this list value is changed. Okay, so here list value is changed. So it is made 164. Then after that the set is printed. Now operators, what are the operators? Arithmetic operators, you have addition, subtraction, multiplication, division operator, comparison operators are there. If you want to check the equality condition, you will have to use equal to. If you want to check not equal inequality condition, you will have to use not equal. Then if you want to check less than or equal to, you will have to use less than or equal to. If you want to check greater than or equal to, you will have to use greater than or equal to. Logical operators are and. For and operation, you will have to use and. For or operation, or. For not operation, not. So this is the end of the basics of Python tutorial. If you like my video, if you find the video useful, please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon for the further notifications of the further video. Thank you.